They're really going hard on music.
It's got the.
Are you streaming?
Yeah, I'm streaming.
Like goes in phases because for a while there, they didn't really care about music. They just wanted it attributed, and now it's like no music.
Like, what the fuck?
I do like seeing when the air player goes in to snipe drones, like sends 20 fighters in.
Yeah.
So cute.
This should be enough. Oh, I lost him. Fuck, I think I prematurely did this.
Does the Phalanx have one of the highest amounts of pushback in a shot?
Moderate.
I feel like they have more pushback than like the what's it called, the tank, the T1 Cortex
Pounder?
tank. Yeah, Pounder. I feel like it has more pushback, but it doesn't do as much damage.
Maybe. Someone dying back there?
Yeah. Sorry.
Rough.
Are you dead yet? No, I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. As much as I like Game of Thrones, I can't go back and watch it again because like it's like the first 3 seasons are just like every line is perfect. You could no, we just skipped those. We skipped those scenes. It was like that. Trust me, we didn't watch Game of Thrones for the first 4 seasons as it came out because we were like, we don't want to watch the softcore HBO porn. Yeah, it was like 5 or 6. Yeah, yeah. And then we finally watched it and we're like, wow, there's a lot more here than sex. Well, like every line of the first 3 seasons is golden. And then it actually drops off to the point where it's a totally different thing. Like, they make a lot of TV shows where there's like a different director for each episode or something, you know, and like there's different, directors for different episodes to give the episodes different feels and stuff. But like the material they used to make the film was entirely different after like the third or fourth, so that you could feel that it was like a totally different show with the same characters in it. You immediately started to feel, yeah, yeah, exactly. There's like a couple of things like, yeah, yeah. You could feel it by watching it. Literally, the caliber of it went from like a fucking Desert Eagle to like a pea shooter, dude. You know how they draw that picture on that meme where it's like the front of the horse is like a beautiful, well-shapedly drawn horse, and the back of the horse is like a doodle from a 3-year-old. That is Game of Thrones.
Verbal meme, guys. Verbal meme. Alright. I have finished my anti-nuke. Will it be in time?
It's a shame because it deserved so much more for what it built on. But I mean, it was bad and getting worse, and then it hit what no other people thought anything could reach, the worst. It was so bad. The last episode, they literally purposefully made the episode dark, so people were like looking at their TV screen, wondering what the brightness of their screen was because the episode's so dark you can't see it. Are you kidding me? That's not. That's nothing. You ever watch me play that CK3 where I got like my grandchildren marrying my my aunt's uncle? Yeah, that ain't nothing. Couple of brothers that's just getting at it. That's nothing. compared to some of the shit. But that was what it was alluding to. That was the point of that. The people why people liked the show in the beginning of Game of Thrones because it alluded to, you know, the menagerie of the medieval ages. Like people had a gloom outlook. So listen up. The bull is captured and is therefore held hostage until I finish my sentence. But the truth of it is that there has been some series that give their what they're what they created a good ending. What some people would consider a good ending. You know, I mean, it may not be a great ending, but they tried as best they could. Thing was is that they tried really hard, and they've never seen somebody try so hard and miss so hard. Yeah. They're like, if you're gonna put that much money into it, there's no way it can be that bad.
What else? It's like just don't know how to. They're so worried about making everybody happy, and like, oh my god, if we do this, they're gonna do this. Yeah, we're gonna do that. They try to go some middle of the road, stupid bullshit that it just doesn't make everybody.
You gotta give your shit a happy ending, bro.
Oh no.
In order.
Like the brother sister said, they didn't condone Jaime and Cersei, and it was like an abomination. And then toward the end, when the showrunners took over, they did try to make the Cersei Jaime.
And what I'm trying to say was, what I was trying to add is that they don't just was that, you know, that there is some people just say that, you know, like George R.R. Martin literally is holding the end of Game of Thrones hostage by not writing the last book, and that is because people are weird about it. But I mean, there's been franchises like Harry Potter, Star Wars, like they tried to give it an ending.
Before, I don't think finished the last book.
We looked it up. We looked this up. Yeah, we looked this up. What I thought was true, is she wrote the first 3 books, and then the first movie was made before the 4th book released. The 4th book released at the debut of the first movie.
So good.
They purposefully did that.
So long. Wrote it and finished it for it. Then they made 2, and that's why it sucks, because write it. They need to leave them alone, let them write a story, and then when it's done, come back.
Yeah, they had ulterior motives.
The thing is, even if it's done,
well, they don't want the franchise to die. They want to be able to continue to create content because
they started coming out with other things, but
that's the thing. Another one is Lord of the Rings, which was very close-ended, the beginning, the middle, the end. The Hobbit was the first book he wrote, and people didn't like it. Like, well, I mean, like, they didn't like it as much. And then he wrote The Lord of the Rings, and that one really took off. But he also wrote, you ever read the real book that he wrote, the first book that he wrote, and the last book that he wrote? He kept adding to it. It's the Silmarillion. You ever read the Silmarillion? Bro, guys, you never read the Silmarillion?
No.
Nobody's read the Silmarillion? Oh my god. This is
Oh.
J.R.R. Tolkien's, like, you know, what the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings looks like. They look like child's play compared to what he wrote in Silmarillion. It was like a lot of people describe that the Silmarillion by J.R.R. Tolkien is the true description of hell. Like he would talk about how this guy was possessed, right? And they put him on a cross. They couldn't unpossess him, and they put a curse on him to just eternally give him pain. And what they did is they would have the crows pick him dry by the end of the day, and he would come back to life every day on that cross. And it was just like really demented,
That's the
really
Greek.
sick shit.
Greek mythology, though.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was like, and the Silmarillion was filled with it because it was in the time when they made the ring. This fucking cash. You gonna hand me cash bowl?
But Silmarillion written by Tolkien and his son Christopher, because he died.
Yeah.
And Christopher just took all the notes and threw it into a book.
Yep, exactly. That's why I was saying that it was the first book he wrote and it was the last book he wrote. It's crazy. His son helped him finish it and stuff, and it's like it just describes like hell, like how like the gods were and the elves were like gods and shit, and it goes ham into like the mythology. And so like when you see the Balrog in the Lord of the Rings, like he's like the last of a dying race that's like that, and they were like dime a dozen in the times of the Silmarillion. We just watched Lord of the Rings. Yeah, anything's better than Wicked.
Yeah, you can say that again.
Wow.
Every goddamn time I go out of that room and I hear a movie come, I hear singing, I'm like,
I know. I've seen Melissa's favorite movie more than she does because she falls asleep.
no, babe, Jesus Christ.
If you have kids, anything's worse than that K-pop movie.
Yeah, the K-pop movie. They were just talking about that today.
Everybody under the age of whatever, like
Yeah,
you put that on, it's a magnet. Everyone sits down.
yeah, we went over our friends for a Christmas party. There was a bunch of kids, and they were all talking about that K-pop show.
Yep, it's a phenomenon.
But so I mean, some authors begin their story with the inclination of the ending, and literally the reason the Lord of the Rings is the best example of this is because in the beginning he comes up with the end of the story. That it was what does he say? It's like and they were happily ever till the end of their days or whatever, right? But the point was that Bilbo he was like writing the book, and he came up with the ending for his book, and so some authors write to finish their story, and some make something that is like Pokemon. Like look at how they do like a lot of anime and stuff, like Dragon Ball Z, like all of these things, Power Rangers, they're just created to go on forever. They're a phenomena that never ends. And but it's like WWE. It's like WWE. It's like it's never going to end. It's never going to end. It might be the end of this story, but they'll come up with another story.
It's like WWE. It's never gonna end.
Yeah.
40 years for a week, word up.
What anime? Yeah, Power Rangers don't never end.
Here,
But so with story making process in itself gives itself a way to, or does not, to end it. But okay, when you have ulterior motive and you got one season left to make, you're gonna make this shit a spectacle, and that's what they did with Game of Thrones. They had ulterior motives, and they also did it with the um the the Squid Games. They had ulterior motives. The guy who originally made it in Korea couldn't make it fast enough. The story only went that far, and he wanted to move on and do other things. And they said, "Well, we got something here, Squid Game," and like the Americans, they love it. And he was like, "I don't really care. I don't really care." And they're like, "Oh, Netflix cares." and so that's why they did the characters like that, so they could just build it up for us to get 20 more Squid Games in different countries and have it turn into a spin-off series thing. That's ulterior motive. And Squid Game and Game of Thrones, same thing. HBO, they've always been the network that proved that they could have their own subscription service. They said that their content was so premium that they could charge premium prices. And HBO always does that, and they try to look to make a dollar out of a dime. That's what they do. Try to make as much out of as little as they can. And um, the thing about that though is when Game of Thrones is going to come to an end and the show's going to end, and they're not sure which how they're going to continue this franchise or what the next big thing. HBO is going to literally take a drop in their when they were the Sopranos and the girls. What was the girls' version of Sopranos? Sex in the City.
Sopranettes.
Yeah, Sopranos. No, they were the two HBO shows. They were the two HBO shows at the time, and that was the best. That was the golden era of the HBO. And then the Game of Thrones took over, and like those were like the best times HBO was good. There was other things that they did. And the True Blood, what wasn't that HBO stuff?
What, The Wire was not HBO?
The Wire, yes.
I think.
And so they said that their premium quality content proved that they could be that they could charge premium prices on top. When it used to be cable television, you pay for your TV service, then you'd pay subscription service for like HBO Stars and Cinemax or whatever. So point being is that they need to be larger than life with their broadcasting networks, and they try to get these hits in there that keep people coming back. And when one's about to end, HBO's literal stockholder share is going down because they know what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like as soon as the show stops airing and there's no hope for more next season, then HBO is going to be back in a downward spiral until they come up with something else. And so the stockholder share is already going down. What do they do with what they have as far as HBO's broadcasting network, not as Game of Thrones as a whole, is to make as much of a spectacle so that people talk about this for as long as possible until they come up with something to replace it. And that's exactly what they did. And they literally got people they took their that niche community and made them hate what they loved so much on purpose, down to every minute detail. They even left the cup in the screen. In the screening, there is like a cup.
Oh, the Starbucks cup?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
So do you remember these spectacles of why people hate Game of Thrones? It's not because of normal reasons why you say you like or hate a show. Oh, I hate that. What happens? It's like literally that was a spectacle that week that everybody watched Game of Thrones and had a terrible time doing it. For the screen was too dark. There's a coffee cup in the way. Like there was everything and anything that they turned their own community into chaos spiral. And because they knew it was coming to an end, and this is what it means to HBO. So now we're still talking about it today because that worked, and now you know what that was. Luckily, though, HBO has been able to stay alive due to the ever increasing market of the streaming services. So they got Max on there, and it's got some content. It's basically like Disney's DC at this point. You know, Disney's got Marvel, and like Max has like the DC movies. Like, it's kind of turned out pretty crazy how they've been able to stay ahead of the curve because of that, not because of their content in itself. But they even had the spin-off show, the House of the Dragons. You watch that?
Still going, right? Didn't seem like
Yeah.
they finished.
Yeah, it's like mid, so they come out with like a season every 2 years or something like that.
Yeah. It's like that. Someone was telling me the release schedule for that's so slow. You know, with like 2 seasons of what's that? Old Horses. In the time it took them to make 1 season of House of the Dragon.
Yeah, I mean, for real, when they were coming out with the Game of Thrones season, they were coming out a lot faster.
Really?
When they made the Game of Thrones seasons, but now that they're making the House of the Dragon seasons, they are like stretching this out as much as they can. Like, we already know it doesn't take this long to make it. So why is it taking 2 years for another season of House of the Dragon? For the meh. Yeah. Stop eating yourself.
I am Tool.
Oh, I need fucking stealth detection. Got a stealth unit in my base, which means this flagship can fire on my main.
Just
You see
peeks
my-
up, just goes peekaboo.
Yep. Yep, everything's dead. All my turrets are dying. It's like, come on. Our C player's a little new, but can we please, you know. Back when there was just 20 rocket bots, you could have sent in both destroyers and gotten half of them dead.
What decides the AI's positioning on their building, because they put things in really weird places.
It's all RNG.
They're trying their best, okay?
Dude, this is incredible. I've been watching the shit out of this match, and it is. I don't know how you could even listen to me while you're playing.
Alright, this flag's killing all my shit again. Oh, hey, Captain Tyrannus showed up. Hell yeah.
Maybe he was earlier. All the rest. Maybe the info got a little. What's up?
Wait, we were supposed to look that up.
Off, like, out here, you're not getting it back off. Why?
Okay. Are you ready for your little biblical lesson?
No, don't care. But
No, you were talking about the three kings. Remember, we were gonna find out. Yeah. He's black.
Rename this channel to the real story of Christmas.
No, I'm not trying to get that far into it. I just wanted to know who the black guy was. He's not from Compton. So
It's
here's
actually
the
part of
three.
it.
So actually, the three kings are Melchior, traditionally associated with the gift of gold, obviously from the Byzantine Empire.
I got some work to do. I'll be back.
All right, sorry, dog. Take it easy.
No, I know. I mean, you don't have to apologize. I have stuff to do. I can't play.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Are you gonna play another one, Fel?
I'm looking for a PvP match, probably.
I know you may be doing some lobbies, so I'll join you if I can. If you allow it.
Depends on what I can find.
Cool. Let me know.
Probably play a lava game.
Watch out. What's going on here? Lava with tech, 3 eco, and upgrade cost. Man, that's crazy. Couldn't parse undefined.
Yeah, you bitch. We're fucking talking. That was new. Like, yeah, what?
Oh, hold on.
I tried to give her other way. I tried to give her another way. Like I tried to just put it on something and shove it down her throat, and she would not. Like, and I've done that to her before and caught her by surprise and thrown it down her throat, and she was I shut her mouth and shut her mouth. She wouldn't do it. Fucking get out.